another one. One time for the mind now. Let's go.
Could be something true now. I'm not looking anymore. The times we're faking, love out flow now. Sharing real connections, what we're made for. Come on, let go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NSE UK Splatoon League Winter Edition 2025. We are back for another edition of this, hosted and presented by Dapple Productions. My name is Conroe, and I'm joined for this cast by Hat. Hello, Hat. How are you doing?
Hi, Conroe. I am doing fine. It's been actually a big minute since we casted something together, and it will be my first time on the mic on NSE, so I'm super excited to see all of these university players compete in today's tournament now. You are from the UK. I think you are a little bit more familiar with this tournament than I am, so why don't you go over the rules and how we're going to play today?
Yeah, I definitely will. And yeah, it feels like years since we've cast together, which is a shame because it's very fun casting with you. Very good commentator. But yeah, so NSE, it's the same format every time. For anyone who's unfamiliar, we basically do 3 weeks of Swiss. There's 3 kind of sessions all happening on a Monday, and you play 3 matches every time. So it's basically 9 rounds of Swiss, if you think of it that way. And then after that, there's a top cut. I believe it's the top 8 go into Division 1, which is, kind of double elimination from there. And then the next 8 after that will go into their own bracket, Division 2, and it's the same deal. That'll be double elimination. So yeah, for the first 3 weeks, all of these teams are joining, just trying to get points to reach the top cut. You can miss a week as well. You don't have to play every week, but you'll be missing out on 3 games if you miss a week. So you might not want to do that. And in terms of each match, it's every game is best of 5. Game 1 is kind of a best of 3 mini set of Turf War, and then we go through each competitive mode. And I believe it's all counter picks as well, besides game 1, which in this case will be Turf War Mahi Mahi Resort.
I really like that format, especially for the casual players out there who don't necessarily only want to watch some competitive games on the ranked game mode. So I am excited to see what these teams can do. And I think also Turf War for a lot of these teams still is a very interesting warm-up with each other. I remember when I did the Dutch Championships a couple years back, I always thought it was a very good warm-up and getting a feel of your opponent, see what you're up against, see how you're going to fight it. Maybe you lose game 1 in Turf War, but then you sort of notice some strategies on what the players can do. So I think it's a very, very, very good introduction to each other. Now, without further ado, we are having 2 beautiful teams onto our set here today. If I get the rosters here, we are playing with the Portsmouth Paladins against the Risco Royals. Portsmouth Paladins of Luca, Broly, Jess Beatty, Sadie Shark, and Marine Moreno. That's what I'm seeing here on this website. On the website, or Re Hypergero, Faded Space. Jess Beatty, Sadie, Ram, and Luca. And we are fighting with the Risco Royals, are Re Hypergeo, Faded B, Space, and Motorway Gaming. So a team with 5 players. Of course, you can only have 4 in a Splatoon team or in a game, so they might be switching out every now and again depending on who's better for the game mode, but that's for the teams to decide. I see they're in the lobby almost getting ready for our first set, so without further ado, Conroe, take it away here on game number 1.
Yeah, we're about to get into it. Mahi Mahi Resort for game 1 of Turf War. Yeah, I don't see this map too much anymore in Turf War, at least because I don't play it too much, but Mahi is one that changes at the halfway mark, and more turf becomes available for people to paint. So here we go with Portsmouth Paladins in the green color, and Risco Royals are in orange. And Re on Risco Royals is actually bringing the YouTuber with the missiles, which in competitive at least you really don't see that too much at.
I also want to take a moment of the reflux. We also haven't seen that bow weapon in such a long time in competitive. It used to be the absolute meta of the missile splat, but it is not the weapon it used to be anymore. 2 beautiful splats coming in by the Paladins. They are fighting their way through the base of the Risco Royals, hoping they can hold the turf down for a long time. Of course, in Turf War is the map is the entire objective. It's up to you to keep that map painted. Risco Royals Hypergeo with the crab tank trying to get some splats, but a Booyah Bomb says no. 2 players of the Portsmouth Paladins follow Conroe, so we see the Risco Royals pushing forward in the map again.
Yeah, Portsmouth just trying to push up and gain some ground, and maybe just a bit too much overextending to let Risco Royals back in. But they're still very much on the front foot here. They managed to get a splat with the auto bomb, and now again they are pushing onto Risco Royals' side, just maintaining space. Or I think a bomb might have got one there as well. But I think that's another bomb splat coming out. So many bomb splats coming out already this game. Risco Royals just, trying to chip away at Portsmouth Paladins, but they can't quite get enough splats to get in. Portsmouth Paladins, probably mention it after this game, but there is a lot of competitive experience on this team, so they definitely know what they are doing. Jess just sharking on the platform. They do have that inkjet ready. They do like this L3 with the inkjet in turf war. They use it a lot, and that is a double with one shot from the inkjet. That is devastating for Risker Royals, and they are going to maintain control of the entirety of mid.
That's definitely gotta hurt. Another beautiful splat bomb at the gate here. They're pushing forward just with that L3, trying to get another splat. L3 is such a strong weapon. It's a bit underutilized in my opinion, but the amount of damage it can do. Now Risker Royals Faded is escaping from the base. They have the V-Slider at the ready as well, trying to push up with the turf, trying to do some damage, trying to get some pain on the ground, just fighting the lives against two players. End up surviving, getting themselves ready for another inkjet. They're oh so close and getting it. Gets a beautiful spell on Ree and pushing forward. They know they see space, but space, unfortunately for Jess, gets the splat. Tactical is out on the filter corner, and this is actually where Risker Royals might turn it around here.
Yeah, definitely. They got rid of the one player that's the biggest danger on the L3, but they've been able to jump back in. But their jump gets punished, and that is 2 down now. Ree on the Gucci, but doing some damage here. 3 down now for Portsmouth Paladins, who have been on top for most of this game. But here comes a real possible turf war moment, as we call it, where the last 30 seconds are the most important. Another taps, just spatting with tap shots from the Gucci, but this has been turned around in the last 20 seconds. It is now Risker Royals on the front foot, but they lose 2 players. It's all going to be about the last 5 seconds, and Sadie is painting up. It's been turned around again. Portsmouth Paladins might have gained this back.
I like the 3 splats at the end, but like you said, the last 30 seconds are so important in turf war. But we're going to have to tell when Judd and Minijet are giving us the score. But Conor, I'm pretty certain it is indeed the placement or the Portsmouth Paladins who take game number 1. But it wasn't really free because they had to fight for it at the last couple seconds. So this is why I like turf war so much. You still get some hype at the end. Maybe the first 2 minutes are a little bit of a warm-up, and the last minute really is the proper full game mode, especially in my resort, where at the halfway mark you only get the rest of the map. So the first half is a little bit saturated in the middle, which can lead to some interesting fights. It might sometimes also be a little bit boring, depending on who you ask. But the last minute is very much where it's at. In the last 30 seconds, the Paladins were losing it until they got those 3 splats in a row. So big props to Risker Royals on still getting an opportunity and taking the most advantage of it. Even though they still lost, I think they had a great match all around. Looking at the map list here, these I believe are the maps all the teams can choose from for their counter picks. If I am correct here, Conor, you might want to correct me on that one. But these are the maps they can pick on turf war. It's my resort, Inkblot Art Academy, Humpback Pump Track, Robo Ramen, and Marlin Airport. I think they really gave us an interesting set of turf war maps here. I don't know how much turf war you play, but I occasionally play it with my friends. And these, I think, are the more fun, interesting maps to play turf war on, with all the little mechanical elements or giant flank roads you can have. So I like the set, the maps it gave us.
Yeah, I do as well. It's I think it's the same map list as last time, and yeah, you can definitely see that. I mean, Robo Ramen and Humpback, especially on turf war, they've got such wide areas. I mean, Humpback is so fun on turf war because you can basically go around the whole outer ring and flank. They haven't chosen either of those though. They've gone with Macomart, which is a popular pick for competitive on a lot of modes. Yeah, Portsmouth Paladins had a bit of a scare that game. They were in control for most of that, as I think we would expect from these players. But Risker Royals, for a second there, they were bound to take it, but I think they just lost a couple of players towards the end, and I think Sadie on the Zap was able to kind of sneak around on the right and recover that. But yeah, I did say before, Portsmouth Paladins, definitely a team to watch this season. I think Portsmouth as a whole, as a university, are the ones to watch because they have 5 teams. They've formed 5 teams for this university tournament. I don't know how they've managed it, but Portsmouth Paladins tend to be the they're kind of best performing team. They haven't won it, but they've always been up there. They've always been like top 3 or top 4, and they've got 4 players here that all have competitive experience. You know, Jess, Rem, Sadie, and Luca. They all play competitive at quite a high level as well. So, you know, I think this season they'll definitely be looking for that win.
I think they can get it too. We saw them play just now, and I think they're doing a very, very good job, especially in the recovery sessions with the last 10 seconds, like you said, getting it back with a couple splats. So I think they definitely have a big chance, and we're going to have to see what the other teams can do today. It is a Swiss format style, like we mentioned earlier, so we'll be seeing a bunch of teams left and right, just trying to get some points on the board and trying to see how high they can go. Mekomart is the next map chosen, of course, and the teams are now selecting their weapons, trying to get themselves ready. And Mekomart, I think it's a very good pick from the Risco Royals. I think it's a bit of a safe bet, that's for sure, especially if you are playing Splatoon 2. We're not in Splatoon 2, we're on Splatoon 3, but still, I think it's a very safe bet, especially for weapons like we saw the Dreadnought. Those are very good weapons to have on this map. Slushers have such a big advantage here on all the little ledges, and you want to get rid of some of those players. You want to get rid of that NZEP in particular from the Paladins, so I think it's a good map, but we're going to have to see how many changes we're going to have, because both teams are running some definite interesting weapons, like the Reflux, like the Gutuber, like the L3. So I'm interested to see here, Connor, what we're going to see in terms of weapon changes and in terms of compositions. It looks like we get a Slusher, a Rapid Blaster Pro into the Paladins, and it looks like the Risco Royals only switched out their Charger for a Blaster. So let's see if that S-Blast is going to make a significant change, as we see Paladins already rushing through the base of the Risco Royals. They are not waiting around. Luca has some work cut out for them, but they got splattered instantly by Ree. But the Sludger goes down on the Risk Royals too, with Ree in a very potent flank position, looking at Sadie and Ram, but Jess comes out to help and gets them splattered. 2 players down on the Risk Royals, and the Paladins are going to win this opening fight with another splat for the middle of the map.
Yeah, they've definitely taken the opening fight well there. Sadie switching to the Rapid Pro, the new one with Cooler. They'll be on Cooler a lot for the Portsmouth Paladin team. That is basically their role. They are support. They will get those Coolers out often for their team. Just staying on the L3 with the Inkjet, which is just about ready. I can definitely see her using that over top left in a second. It is ready to go. And it's against the Crab Tank, and that is going to get taken out in 2 shots, and it's actually a splat as well. And another one, and it could be 3. It could be 3. It's a triple with the Inkjet from Jess. Great start once again for Portsmouth Paladins. I'm sure they know from the last game they have to keep this up for 3 minutes, but it's looking good right now, Hap.
3 minutes, something a bit of an endurance fight. You might slip up. It happened last game, and it might happen here again too. But still, a very beautiful opening from the Portsmouth Paladins, and they're holding on. They're holding strong. The Risco Royals lose 2 players again, and they have a disconnect on their side. The S-Blast unfortunately got kicked out of this game, and that is tough for the Risco Royals, because I think it happened right before the halfway mark. I don't exactly know the disconnect rules. You might have to inform me on that one, but I don't think they can reset this one. They have to continue fighting it. That's a tough pill to swallow if you were the Risco Royals, Conroe.
It definitely is, yeah. I just had to very quickly look that up myself, I'm not going to lie. And it said below 2.5 minutes. There was no specifics for Turf War. Of course, Turf War was a 3-minute mode, so I'm assuming it's just the same for Turf War. So, I mean, Risco Royals, the onus was on them to stop the game, and they haven't. So I'm assuming that is, it's 2.5 minutes for Turf War as well. So Portsmouth Paladins, they're only against 3 players now when they were on top already. So this is as close as you would get to like an impossible task in this game, a 3v4 in Turf War against 4 competitive players.
In every other game, I think you'd still have some sort of a chance. It might definitely be doable when the objective is a little bit more centralized, but in Turf War, where literally the entire map is the objective, it's tough. Good reef slider though from the Dreadnought. Unfortunately, a lot of refracts, resulting in a wipeout. We see still Risco Royals trying everything they can, not giving up. Beautiful splat again on Luca with the Crab Tank. Can he get a second one? Hyper Juice. Luca just gets a splat on Jess too. It doesn't matter all too much for the end result, but it is nice to have anyway with a second victory here, because the map looked very, very bluish green to me. It's the Portsmouth Paladins taking the Turf War best of 3, and with that taking the first point in this best of 5 set.
Yeah, well done to Portsmouth Paladins. I mean, even just that Crab Tank at the end would suggest what might have happened if, first of all, they had 4 players, and secondly, that crab was about 10 seconds early. You just never know with Turf War how it can go. But yeah, the DC definitely unfortunate. Thankfully, if it happens again in one of the competitive mode, since it's a 5-minute game, they will be able to restart it if it happens that early in the first half of the game. But yeah, Portsmouth Paladins, I mean, again, they looked mostly on top in that anyway. They seem to have a lot of control. Jess on the Inkjet, to be honest, Makamat, Risco Royals picked it, but Inkjet especially on that map, because you can just go left, you can pop it from there, as she did right here. A good counter against Crab Tank, takes them out, gets a second one, a lovely direct as well, because that player was jumping, and that player just kind of dropped to the middle and got double hit by the Inkjet. But yeah, really solid stuff from Portsmouth Paladins, as we'd expect. And they do take game 1, this little mini set of Turf War. And game 2 is going to be Splat Zones, I believe. And it is on Risco Royals again to pick the map. Hopefully they get their 4th player back in the lobby, and we'll see what they pick.
I think we are I think their 4th player is back into the lobby, so we are just going to have to see the map indeed. Splat Zones, I think it's a very good way, or very good game mode right after Turf War, because you're very much in the painting mindset. You're very much focusing on a painting objective, and Splat Zones, of course, is, well, mini Turf War. We have a map chosen as well. It is Museum del Foncino, and we're going from 2 relatively small maps to a massive Splatoon 1 map. It's sort of a Splatoon 1 map, but that's how we made it is. I honestly think it's a Splatoon 3 map. But Museum del Foncino, definitely a big old Splatoon 1 map, and I like this pick for the Risco Royals. I can definitely see it happening. Again, a lot of mechanical elements on this map with the top, with the center spinner. They can play around with that. A lot of little hiding places for that S-Blast, for that Dreadnought. So I'm interested if they can counter the plays from the Portsmouth Paladins right now, because they've been on top of their game. They have been very dominant. Like you said, they've been very much guiding the game in their way, even with little slip-ups. They definitely had to control. So I'm interested how the Risco Royals is going to change that here on this game mode.
Yeah, same here. I definitely liked the weapon change they did have. Sadly, we didn't get to see much of its potential there, but they switched off the Gutuber and went to, I think it was Julie's or a Blaster. Yeah, he was on the Blaster, actually. So, yeah, they might struggle a little bit if they don't have anything with range, because, yeah, as expected, Sadie has gone to the pen. Oh, the Gutuber's come back out. Well, there you go. What do I know? The Gutuber's come back out. They now have a decav as well, which is definitely one of the best weapons in the game right now. We see a lot of top players using it. We've seen someone on Risco Royals go, oh, Rem's gone down straight away, actually. Rem back on the Tetra. That is their main weapon. They are super aggressive with it. They'll be super jumping back in constantly, but they do get punished early. But Risco Royals, in the meantime, have lost 3 players. It's just the Dreadringer somewhere mid. They do have their slider ready, and out it comes. And Jess had already been chipped earlier, so that is going to take them out. But sadly, the Dread gets punished after Luca with the BR bomb. Going to try and get one of these 2 players, the decav. It does get the decav. So Risco Royals on the back foot. Paladins have set up. Out comes the whale, but they're just constantly losing players. They can't get in.
That's definitely the struggle that the Risco Royals are facing right now. They have to get rid of the players. Big ol' wipeout for the Portsmouth Paladins. And in this competitive game mode, they are even looking more fierce. But this is what they're used to playing. This is their turf. Like I said, they've been playing competitive too. And these are the only game modes you play into competitive, especially Splat Zone. So if any of the game modes is their home, it is this one. The Risco Royals got 2 players down though. Sorry, got only 1 player down, but they lost 2 players of their own. That gotta sting. The Portsmouth Paladins, I'm pretty sure the colors are actually wrong on our overlay.
No, Risco Royals are in green. Risco Royals are in green.
Oh, they are in green, okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no worries.
I was a bit confused, like, I'm sure, am I not going crazy? But it looks like apparently I'm not. Risco Royals now holding onto that zone. They finally got that zone. 13 points though, Conroe, for Paladins. That's a huge hurdle the Risco Royals are going to face right now.
It really is, and it'll just be on now, like, Portsmouth Paladins, as long as they don't kind of collapse now that they don't have the zone anymore. We saw Rem quickly try to flip it with a Reef Slider with the Tetra, but it wasn't quite enough to cap it. But it does look like they're going to get it back, although they've lost 2 players now. Risco Royals are holding steady here. It's just the Dapples and the Gucci, but for now, though, Luca is just waiting for a moment to go in on the Stamper, and they are now helped by Jess and Rem as well. And Ree is in a bit of trouble on this Gucci, but they managed to get one. Are they going to get Rem? If they get that pick on Rem with the Gucci, they do. Oh my goodness.
That is huge. That is huge.
Redoing things on this Gucci, I didn't think was possible. But Risco Royals are just hanging in firm. I liked what Fader did on the Dread Ringer initially to get the zone back. Sadly, they go down there. But we've got a bit more of an even contest. Portsmouth Paladins have been able to take back control here, though, and I think they're going to go straight for that plat again.
The wipeout will definitely help the Portsmouth Paladins defensive here, but they have to set up. They have literally no special active right now. The S-Plat is the only one that's close to getting a special. Risker Royals, though, lose 2 players again. They are struggling so much to get out of their base. When they get out, they can definitely score that zone, but when they are in here, they will not, and that is a struggle right now. Jess in a very cheeky spot with that S-Blast lurking and waiting. Penalty has been gone, or has been removed for the Portsmouth Paladins, and with that, in no way in for the Risker Royals. The Portsmouth Paladins take game number 2. Very, very strong, very, very dominant. Even with a slip-up, they were, again, very much in control of this game, Conrad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were in control from the start. I think Rem went for an early flank and got taken out, but that kind of diverted the attention away from Risco Royals, and everyone else on the team was able to push instead. And yeah, they spent so much time on their platform. Risco Royals suddenly got a double smack from somewhere, though, to allow them to get back in, and they did manage to hold for quite a while. I think Portsmouth Paladins were a little bit staggered in trying to take the zone back, not quite coordinating that, but they eventually did. And it really is going to be the danger if you're going against Portsmouth Paladins this season, because they have so much aggro with Jess and Rem, just between those two. But they do have Sadie and Luca as well, who are no slouches either. But it is going to be so difficult once they lock you out to get back in. You just have to coordinate that and don't lose players to them, because then it will get very difficult very quickly. And Portsmouth Paladins making quite an early statement here that they are going to be one of the teams to beat this season, and only one more game to win, and they've taken their first match here.
Rainmaker is definitely a bit of a different game mode compared to the first 2 that we have played. So I believe the Risker Royals get another counter pick, right?
Yeah, I believe pretty much every map mode except for the very first one in the set is a counter pick.
So they still have an option. They still have some options to go to. We got Scorch Gorse and Eeltail Alley, Undertow Surgeon Menta, and of course Humpback Bump Track. So maybe Humpback might be a decent game mode to go into. But I think, like you said, the Portsmouth Paladins have something to show on this stream. They have something to prove that they are not going to be a dominant team. They want to be the winners. Finally, they haven't done it yet, and they are aching so much to get a victory. We're still waiting for the Risker Royals to get their counter pick in order, but they cannot afford to make a single mistake anymore. It's been 2-0 already, and if they lose this one, well, they're not out of this tournament because it's Swiss, but they are going to lose some valuable points they need at the end for the playoffs. So I think they're going to give them everything that they've got. But the Portsmouth Paladins know that, so they are going a full 100% to what I think these matches are still fairly decent. I definitely want to say there is an advantage for the Portsmouth Paladins in terms of player skill. I definitely want to say that they are better, but I don't think the Risker Royals are doing that bad. They've been able to capture the zone multiple times, and they're getting out of their spawn and doing some decent damage too. They even got some cheeky splats with that Gutuber, so they still have a chance here. I think with Rainmaker, that's one of those game modes I think that can really just 180 a match out of nowhere because of how fast you can push the objective. So maybe the Risker Royals have something up their sleeve in Rainmaker, but we're just going to have to see. They're almost ready. We're seeing them at least we see them. You don't on the stream, but we see them getting ready at the lobby. It's just one more player, and then we are going into a potential final match of our first set on stream.
Yeah, as you said, Risco Royals, they've not done too badly here, really, considering who they've gone up against. And they've done well in the past themselves. I think they got 3rd place in Spring 25, which, wasn't too long ago. And I think also I was wrong about Portsmouth never winning. I think they won one of the summer editions, which is, they're a little bit more low-key and alumni are allowed, but they won summer 2024. Jess might be the only one from the roster that's on them now, but yes, they have won before, so they haven't never won, as I said. But this one, summer 25 at least, there were about 16 teams in that roughly, and this is like double the size. So I'm sure they'd like to win I don't know what you call it, a term time tournament when it's not the summer and some people are away. Yeah, I do think the winter and the spring ones tend to be more popular because everyone is at the uni and everyone is doing their degrees. But we are going to get into game 3 Rainmaker. Not too many changes from Portsmouth Paladin. Sadie just going between all the caller support weapons. They are on the edit, so they've changed. And on the other side, they're sticking with the aggro build. So I kind of want to see Risker Royals just come out here and just go at them, just go aggressive with this comp they're running, especially.
The Paladins are faster on the Rainmaker pop, but the Risker Royals, they have not lost a player yet. They lost the Dreadwing, unfortunately. The Re is gone down as well, but so is the S-Blast from the Paladins. But 3 players down on the side of the Royals is just space alive. With the NSE opting to go back out, trying to get rid of the Rainmaker, but no, gets splattered in the process. A delayed wipe early on for the Risker Royals. The Paladins got the first checkpoint too, and this is huge for them because they got 2 splats again, Conroe. The Risker Royals are struggling as we see the Paladins absolutely shredding them here.
They really are. This could be over already. Oh, no, it gets the 1 point within the first 50 seconds of the game. Out comes the Reef Slide. Luca goes for it, not able to get it. The Reef Slide saves them. They're still trying to clear out Portsmouth Paladins players, but they can't do it. I think they're only down to 1 player here. Jess going in now on the S-Blast, trying to get a kill, not able to. It's just Luca who was able to, I thought they were going to shark that and go for some splats and try and end it, but they jump out instead. Come on, Luca, you should have gone for that for the fun. But they do jump out, and it is an easy reset for Portsmouth Paladins. And now Risker Royals, I mean, they have to dunk. They have to KO this to keep this set going, which is going to be a huge ask for them, considering the team they are playing against. The caller comes out from Sadie. They know Ree is in the corner. They're hiding somewhere, but they are going to burst it. And they're really in no rush, but I can definitely see them trying to KO this. Sadie goes down, but they are cooled up. Risker Royals coming back in. They do get a splat on Ren. They're going for a second, but Jess so strong on the S-Blast, and they get a second as well. No, actually, they go down. They get a trade, though. I mean, it's all Portsmouth Paladins right now. Risker Royals not quite able to get back in.
They're struggling so much, but see so much paint coming out from the Paladins too. Not even just splash, but almost the entire map is just painted in this yellow color. And that's where Risker Royals is struggling right now. They just have nowhere to go. They can maybe get a splat or 2, but then after that, there's nothing. Big splat by Faded. Beautifully done, culminating the Reef Slider with that Slaughter. But see if the Risker Royals can capitalize of it. They had 2 players down on the side of the Paladin, so this might be a good opportunity for them to push. The heavy splatling comes out, gets a splat on the Rainmaker. The Paladins are not done with this one yet. 2 players down on the Royals. They get a 3rd one. They get the Reef Slider and survives the shot of Jess. That is big. Gets them in the process too, allowing the Risker Royals to stay in this fight here. But they've still been losing ground again. They're being pushed back slowly but surely. The Paladins know that they don't only need to get the splats, they need to get the map too. And they've been doing that beautifully. The Risker Royals have 3 players splatted, and this is where they can push, but they have to pop the Rainmaker, but nobody's popping it. They're all spinning forward. That's a huge mistake. That will cost them an enormous push opportunity here, Conroe.
It really does. They just couldn't. I think they wanted to get rid of all the players first. They really wanted to get the splat on Sadie, who was able to jump away. The bubble protecting the Rainmaker right now. The Risker Royals need to get moved. They have a lot of control on the left. They just need to get the Rainmaker over there. There's plenty of players to protect them. Jess goes down on the S-Blast. Suddenly there's 2 down. I don't know what's happening, but Risker Royals, someone is up there causing a lot of damage against Portsmouth Paladins, who are again 2 down. Sadie is cooler, just trying to get something going. With the edit, they get a very important splat, and suddenly it's all turned around. That's pretty much a wipeout. Nice splat with the suction bomber. That is pretty much everyone for Risker Royals gone. I think they've got the checkpoint at least, so it's a start with just over a minute left. A little bit less to do if the checkpoint has been broken. And yeah, once again, they've shown some potential there, but as I said, the Portsmouth Paladins have pushed it to 1, so they do need to KO. But that is what they're going to need to do. They just have to push up now. They just have to go in and hope they win the fights, especially with the comp that they're running. It's all just frontline anyway, so they've really got nothing to lose at this point.
1 minute to sharpen up their teamwork. They have 2 players down on the side of the Paladins, so they can definitely make a push opportunity, but they lose 3 players on their own. Jess doing a crazy good job on that Splash now, and the Brisker Royals just don't know how to respond. Splash trying to get close to the Rainmaker, but I think Ram has something to say about that one. And now the Paladins, they're going to try to push one more time, I believe, trying to get that cheeky little KO. We see the Rainmaker on the left, Sadie in control of the Rainmaker, pushing alongside Jeff. Luca with a beautiful spell on the side against the Slusher. Will it be enough to get the Rainmaker on the pedestal? Yes, it will. And even though they really didn't need to, the Portsmouth Paladins take game number 3 with a KO in a beautiful display of dominance here on Splatoon. They were winning the first round of this Swiss tournament.
Yeah, very nice work from Portsmouth Paladins to get it done. As you said, they didn't need to after pushing it to 1, but I guess you can never be sure, especially after Rizco Royals were able to push and get the checkpoint. Maybe Portsmouth Paladins just wanted to say something to him after they managed to do that and just insist on getting the KO instead. But yeah, really solid work from all of the players. You know, not just Jess and Rem, honestly, but Luca and Sadie were quite confidently just pushing up and getting spats with their weapons as well. I mean, Luca on the Stamper. Stamper's obviously such a good weapon, and it can be so difficult to deal with if you don't know how, because it's got so much range. Like, its range is deceptive, especially to players that don't quite have as much experience in comp as well. And Sadie's edit as well. I mean, edit's a little bit more aggressive than Pen as well, so it can kind of push up and run forward with that splatling, you know, the rapid fires to get those splats as well. But yeah, Portsmouth Paladins, they're going to be one of the teams to beat for people this season. They are definitely one of the favorites. Risco Royals, though, I mean, I quite like what I saw from them there. It's going up against such a strong team, and I think they held it well, quite together in like all those games, I would say.
I agree with you there. I think they did a very good job, especially in the Rainmaker game at about the middle end, where they suddenly pushed up the Rainmaker towards the checkpoint, and actually did a decent job getting it a little bit, or at least getting the push a bit further to the objective. Unfortunately, didn't go much further as they failed to pick it up. But they did a very good job overall. I think their teamwork, though, is the one problem. They are very much playing 4 separate players, like you play like solo X-Rank, for example. But they're not really playing together as a team, as where the Paladins were constantly pushing together. So I think that is a for the Risco Royals, that's a moment for them to learn from. And I think they can definitely do a very good job in this tournament too, because they have the players for it, and they have the knowledge to get some stuff too. And they are definitely picking some all-ball weapons, which in its moments can do very surprising things. So I think the Risco Royals still have a decent chance in this tournament. Now, we are waiting for a next match. I believe we are going on a tiny little break until our next set is ready. So grab yourself some water, grab yourself some snacks, because we'll be right back with more NSE.
is darkness over Europe.
The great events of the past vanished.
There he goes, avoids the ball, does it in, gets it, and that makes lekker backtrack. RRSL3 champions.
But there's always more Splatoon to be played.
This might be the opening that they need. They need to break this basket.
They get in. Can they get the lead they need? They get it.
More champions to be crowned.
And Gordon Ray shooting again. They lose the lead, and there it is. Kaiser are your European champions.
Be there on the 25th and 26th of October in the heart of Cologne.
Inside the Experian Arena. For Europe's next LAN Major.
Streamed live on Twitch and YouTube on Dude's channels. That SRB2 Dude. That's my channel.
See you there at Octofest.
And welcome back to the NSE UK University League, hosted right here on Dapple Productions. My name is Het, and I am still joined by Conroe, and we're going right into our next set of the Swiss bracket. It is the Love Brella Undercover Agents against the Portsmouth Paladins, not to be confused with the Paladins we had in our previous game. That's going to go over some confusion. We're going to cause some confusion when we are casting. Love Brella consists of Halo, Weighty Cat, Karaswag, Lilith Gaming, Maza, Cosme, and Ghostly 872 against Dude 48, Sneaky, Beans the Rat, or Beans the Rat. I said Rat, Beans the Rat, and hold up, Katanada Banana. I hope that's not their in-game name. I for real hope that's not their in-game name. But we're going back. We're going back into the format we had last match as well, which will be a best of 3 turf war for the first point, sung it up on my resort, and then after that it will be counter picks to the other game modes: Splat Zones, Rainmaker, Clan Blitz, and Tower Control in a best of 5 format. So my resort corner, we just saw the Paladins, and I'm expecting a lot from the Paladins right now because they're from the same university. They have 5 teams playing in this tournament, so I'm expecting the best. I'm at least expecting 2 or 3 to end up in the playoffs, but we are already going to start with another team from the Portsmouth, so I like to see that, and I'm hoping they're going to do as well as their previous as the sibling team who was on stream earlier.
Yeah, I like that they've got 2 teams here. There's literally 1 letter in the name that is different. We had Paladins first, and now we have Paladins, who I think Duditude is kind of leading this team, and they've been on Portsmouth teams before, obviously. This isn't their first year. I think some of the players may have been swapping around, because I vaguely remember they were actually on the same team as Jess over the summer, and I might be wrong. But yeah, they are kind of leading this one. Loughbrella, I definitely noticed Halo's name straight away. They do have a lot of competitive experience as well. They were just at Splat Vibes, the LAN that was a little while ago here. So yeah, they have a lot of experience, and they're definitely they'll definitely be kind of the leading player for Loughbrella. I can say, obviously, this is a Swiss format, and this is round 2. Both of these teams won their first match 3-0, 3-0. So hopefully that means we'll have a slightly closer match here than the one we just saw with Paladins' sister team, Paladins. But yeah, we will see Turf Mahi Mahi Resort first. I think we were about to get into the game there, but I think the lobby disconnected, so we're just getting back into that now. And yeah, Paladins, they wouldn't have watched Paladins' game because they would have also been playing at the same time. So no lessons to be learned from Paladins' slight scare that they had towards the end of that Turf War game, but that is what can happen. In Turf War, it's all about kind of the last minute. But yeah, I know Halo as well likes to play the kind of support painty weapon. So, you know, for a competitive player to have that role in Turf War, that's definitely an advantage in this mode, I'd say.
I think in a tournament like that too, if you can handle your support and your backlines well, it's a major advantage. A lot of people always think it's the Slayers, and especially just getting rid of people, is the biggest way to carry in a tournament like this. But I think getting your support in order and helping your players who are at the front line is just passively more important, and it can help you so much, because having one giant Slayer, if they get splatted and nobody else can really fill in for them, that's gonna hurt you a ton. But having a good support player like Halo, for an example, will help you in the long run and will help you regain a lot of fights. We are waiting for this lobby to get ready, but my resort again will prove an interesting ground here on Turf War, because the Paladins, they almost lost it. Like you said, they had this in the bag until the last 30 seconds, and then they almost fumbled and lost out. So I am expecting the Paladins to have a very, very similar game, because they are from the same school and they can of course learn from each other, but they cannot watch each other's streams because it's a Swiss bracket. It's the same we have in early rounds of a Splatoon tournament where everyone is playing simultaneously. In the Swiss round, it's even worse because everyone is always playing someone simultaneously. There is no breaks, there is no time for relaxation unless you 3-0. You are always in for a fight, and your next match is always ready.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're almost ready to go with this one now. And I noticed, just I very quickly looked, I noticed Duditude already, but I did spot Sneaky there as well for Portsmouth Palafins. And I mentioned Portsmouth's kind of main team did win in summer 24, and those two were part of that team. So those two players have won a NSE tournament in the past. Yeah, as we've discussed before, there's a lot of players around Portsmouth. They've divided up a little bit more now, rather than have a big roster of about 8 to 10 players. Each roster is about 4 or 5, which basically just means every player is going to get to play. Which it's good to prioritize that. Some teams here have like, I think I saw a team with like 11 players, so it's more just kind of rotating, making sure you can have a team play every Monday. But yeah, Portsmouth
11?
have. Yeah,
I'm sorry, 11. Why just make 2 teams of that? Why just not just make 2 teams? Get 1 more and just make 3. Then you have more chances in school. That makes no sense. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but that absolutely makes no sense to me. Like half of your roster is gonna sit there. It's just gonna sit there. All right. Let's get into the game. I already like seeing a lot of these weapons, like the new mini, new bow, and a new rapid pro. Lovely weapons to see. And an arrow spray. We got an arrow spray in the tournament. What a time to be alive, Conroe. Facing it off with a Forge Pro. And Paradulis, an Octo Shot, which I also love to see, and a 52 gal. So very much a frontline weapon set for the Lovebrella. But the Palafins are running a more diverse weapon set, though a very, very odd one at that.
Yeah, definitely. I think I remember now Duditude did like the Aerospray in Turf War quite a lot. We're again seeing a Reflux, which, I mean, to be honest, in competitive circles, Reflux and Turf War, actually really popular. The NA League, the very top NA players, Turf War, there was a Reflux all the time. Oh my goodness, what just happened? I'm yapping about the Reflux.
I think it was a single bomb.
It might have been a reef slide or something, but someone just lost all of their members. So huge wipeout there. I think it was Lovebrella, wasn't it? So they are able to push back in. Here is Halo opting for the Emperi Julies here. We said about Halo being, a recognized comp player, like in the paint support, but they've probably gone for the Julies here just so they can, splat a bit better as well. If they have that experience, they might have a better time doing that. They were able to get one just there. Gonna struggle a bit against the range of Sneaky's Rapid and the Zuka coming out from Local Rat. That's a great username right there, Local Rat.
I love the Local Rat. That's great. But if you are more of a support weapon or support player, then why don't you go for like the regular duties with the crab tank, or maybe get one with like a bubbler, like the new one? That's a bit of an odd choice, especially with the splashdown, which it's a bit situational. I don't think it's that great, so I think it's a bit of an odd one for Halo. Maybe they're trying out something. It's not really working, but the Palafins are absolutely doing an amazing job holding back Lovebrella. We see the splashdown coming out though on the side of the screen, getting, I believe, 2 players, or at least a mini with that. So Halo has something cooking, and that meal is slowly being prepared, slowly being cooked to perfection. Banana gets a decent splat onto the Forge Pro. Another one, at least a teammate got one onto Halo. So that's 2 players down on the side of Lovebrella, and an enormous amount of pace coming out on the side of the Palafins. That Reflux is doing a wonderful job on the paint here.
Yeah, it really is. There's just so much paint coming out from that, and Booyah Bombs constantly. We're starting to see this one used a bit more over the missile one, but the Reef Slide again gets a couple, and another one from the follow-up from Duditude. 30 seconds left. It's just Cosme for Lovebrella using the BR Bomb just to try and stay alive, and they didn't actually get splattered there. Now they do. 15 seconds left. And I mean, it's 3v3 is pretty even right now, actually. Halo is trying to come back in, but there's only 2 alive. The next splat is going to be huge. Halo gets another one. Can they take out Banana as well? No, the BR Bomb comes out. Just paint at this point. Just paint everywhere. Well, I'm not quite sure from that view who has taken that. It looked like Palafins were in control, and from that map, it definitely looks like Palafins. Is it going to be, 11% in it?
That's a decent amount of percentage, but that looked fairly close at the end until they got the 2 splats in a row on the Loveberry. Lovebrella, it very much looked like the Palafins were losing it at the end. Lovebrella did a very decent job at the end, though. I think Conroe, that frontline only comp, it just doesn't work. You only have Slayers out the battlefield. There's nothing to help support you. There's almost no passive specials that can just quickly paint a zone, quickly get control of an area, it's only splat, splat, splat. And it honestly, in a game like Splatoon, where you would think that would work, it really doesn't. So I think they have to rework the comp a little bit, try to get something different, try to get some better or some different specials involved. I think the weapons itself are fine. They just have to get a more variety of specials, maybe like a Tacticooler or maybe a Bubbler or maybe some more missiles of their own to counter what the Palavins is throwing at them.
Yeah, definitely. It was it is definitely a comp where, you know, everyone is just playing a frontline weapon and just trying to paint and getting the splats that they can. I think Halo was the main one, of course, going for that. And the splashdown actually ended up doing a bit of work there. They got a few splats from that as well. But yeah, it's a tough one in a tournament like this where you probably do have some players that don't play as much competitive. Maybe they just play the game casually. So it becomes more of a question of like, do we try and get a comp that makes sense from a competitive perspective, or does everyone just play what they're comfortable with? You know, because I mean, I can't say I'm sure about the Lovebrella players. Halo's definitely the only name I recognize there. So it might be a case of that. The Portsmouth Paladins, definitely some competitive experience on there. The range was certainly an issue. They were against, I think, a Rapid Pro and a Mini there. A Mini that got a lot of Zookas as well. You know, that is a very popular Mini with the beacons and the Trizuka. It can get 9 or 10 of those per game if it wants to, and especially in Turf War, you know, because the whole point is you have to paint the floor. So yeah, we'll have to see if Lovebrella does kind of look at that and change anything. I mean, I have to keep talking about Halo. I know Halo can play the VDS, the Julie Squelchers. That is probably their main weapon. They'd probably consider it their main weapon, and that would definitely help a bit with the range, because it has more range than, you know, and Perry Julies, which is what they were just using. And they have picked Humpback, which we mentioned it before, but this is a very fun Turf War map, Pat.
Oh, I love this. I think if we have to pick a top 3 Turf War maps, this would be like the number 3. Not the number 1 or 2, it will be the number 3, because it's fun. It's just fun, it's interesting. It is very oddly shaped, which I like. It also introduces a lot of verticality, but in a very good way. It's not like some other maps where it's just a giant tower, you have a lot of walls to climb up. It's just funky, hilly. I love it. But I hope Halo is going back to their main weapon, because if it is a case of everyone playing a more comfort pick and Halo is trying to sub into that, I think at that point just play your main weapon and go absolute bananas against your opponents, because what do you have to lose at this point? If everyone of your team is not as competitive as you are or does not have the skill like you, I definitely think playing your primary weapon is the way to go, is going to help your team. And if anything, play a special which will really support your team. I know Halo can. We've seen him play in other tournaments. Like you said, we've seen him play in Splat Vibes. They have the skill and they have the experience to fill in for a team like this. So I think they should definitely play what they're strong at. But let's see how many changes we're going to have here on Humpback Punk Track. Giant open middle field with big flank routes on both sides. And there's an orange NSE. I love that so much. No change on the side of the Paladins. They are confident, but the 52 is swapped out for the orange sap with the funny little jumpers. That's a very interesting special for a map like this. Duality already painting a lot of the base on the side of the Lovebrella. I think you want to paint a bit of the map first, leave your base for when you respawn. Big splat on the forge already by Dude with a reef slider. They've been doing absolute banana stuff with that. And Dude it already going in, painting a lot of the base of the Lovebrellas.
Oh, they might get another one here. Oh, not quite. And they do get punished for that. That's a nice punish, actually, from Cosme, because they had to drop down to avoid that reef slider, and they were able to just quickly turn around and aim for that splat. Duty is going to be doing that all the time on this map, I feel, just going around the sides. Cosme not quite able to follow up on the Mini, almost gets it. But yeah, it's a similar comps to before. Paladins running a very interesting comp, because they don't really have much frontline power, but, you know, the Mini, Aerospray, Rapid Pro, and Reef, it's not very good fighting weapons. So it's kind of what we said before. Lovebrella really should just go at them here and try and get those splats and then like clear them out and then paint the map, because they just have so much paint. Paladins, you're gonna have to get rid of them really to stop them, and it's very possible with the weapons they are playing. Cosme again loses to Local Rat twice in a row, not getting the splats on them, and it is Paladins who are taking early advantage here. Palafins are in the purple, I believe, for this game. Halo is trying to go around the outside. They've been spotted by Sneaky, not quite able to get. They're going to have to focus on Halo here for a little bit, but it is Palafins who are in control for now, I think.
It's Brains versus Brawn here, with the Love Brother being more of the brawny side. Get some splats is what I would say. Go in, dive, get some crazy splats in, because you cannot outpaint them. There is just no chance. The way that the Palafins are playing and how they're positioning themselves, it is very difficult to outpaint a Reflux, a Mini, and an Aerospray. But you can definitely outsplat them. They have faster weapons with slower or faster kill times, so you can make it work. 2 splats on the side of the Palafins. The Lombrella have heard the message, and they're going in. They have lost 2 players of their own, but the middle of the map is completely clear of pink players and is fully in control of them. They lost 2 players now, so the Palafins are fighting back. The NSEP goes down, the Oxygen goes down, the Reflux on the side of the Palafins does go down. That is huge. Dude, however, in the base of the Lovebrella, user Reflighter doesn't connect to anyone, but they're still in that base, still being an absolute losers, and 3 players are focused on Dude, when everyone else from the Palafins is just painting the middle of the map like it is no one's business. 2 players are now down on the side of the Palafins. This is what the Lovebrella needed, but can they capitalize on this player advantage? Can they capitalize on the fact that there's almost no one in the middle right now? Local Red, the only player painting the base of the Palafins, only playing in mid. A lot of pressure going out for the Lovebrellas, but will it be enough is the question. It looks like they had a lot of turf on the map here, Conroe, so this might just be the turning point. And look at that. That map is not pink anymore. That map is now blue, and the Lovebrella heard the message and played this one beautifully.
Yeah, they did about halfway through. They really started pushing back against Portsmouth Palafins. There was such a long fight. We were focused on Duditude on the right there, and they were fighting against Halo, and that was such an important fight. Halo was just picking their moment to approach because they both had their specials. It was Reef Slider versus Splashdown, essentially. Halo just backed away from the Reef Slide, didn't use their Splashdown, instead opted to hold it, and eventually they were able to get in and take out Duditude. And elsewhere on the map, just Palafin players just dropping everywhere. And Lovebrella did a really good job of just staying alive. They lost a few players, but only 1 or 2. And yeah, they just kind of did what they needed to do. They got the splats in those last 30 seconds or 60 seconds of the game, because as we said, that there was just so much paint on Palafin side. All of their weapons paint so much. So at that point, you've got a comp just of frontline weapons that can fight relatively well. You have to just go for the splats at that point. You have to fight them, and that is what they did really well when it mattered in that game. So already we have a closer match than the last one. It's 1-1 in the Turf War set, so it's essentially from here just a best of 5 set with Turf War, and they have counterpicked Robo Ramen Hat, another fun Turf War map.
I love that. If I have to go top 3, that's a number 2. That's for sure.
What's
We're
number 1?
We're going through all my favorites. What's my number 1? Ah, come on. We all know this. That is Hagglefish Market. It's everyone's number 1.
Okay.
It's a bit of a basic one, but I love Hagglefish Market. But Robo Ramen also definitely up there. In this frontline comp, it might just work out for them. But I think they're going to struggle with the brains of the Palafins. These more tactical weapons definitely boast an advantage here with this oddly shaped map. It is going to be a bit of a fight here in the middle of the map. It's raised up, but you can go below and get some cheeky splats in. And I think that's what Local Red wants to do. Look at that Mini on the side with the Zuka. Doesn't get a splat with that, but already caused some chaos. And dude with the Aerospray again, causing so much chaos. The weapon you least expect to be a nuisance is the biggest one of them all, Conroy.
It definitely is. I mean, I would say in Turf War, Aerospray quite often is the biggest nuisance, especially that kit. Reef Slide, it can just suddenly do splash damage. We know the splash damage range on that weapon is so wide. And then they have Fizzy Bomb as well. Good Aerosprays, they can actually just Reef Slide and then throw a Fizzy Bomb directly at your feet and you're just gone. And of course, it paints a ridiculous amount as well. I really want to see Lovebrella in this game, using these 2 flanks a lot just to try and get round, because they are going to have to take some fights again. It's going to be quite similar to Humpback. They're going to have to just get the splats that they need on Portsmouth Palafins. Halo is doing that with the Splashdown, able to get sneakers. So that is 2 down. It could be 3 if the Reflux gets taken out, and they do. And that Reef Slide is not going to get Halo, and that's a really good punish splat as well. Halo bringing it with the Julies, doing what they need to do, the experienced competitive player on this team, getting the splats, and they have Palafins in their base right now, pretty much, Pat. Although having said that, sorry, Hat, not Pat. Having said that, Duditude is going around and Duditude is in their court.
A bit confused with our very similar usernames, but the Palafins are doing a very... The Love Barrels doing a very good job in holding the Palafins back, and the Palafins are slowly breaking out. We see the Mini going in, pushing forward, getting a trade, but it was not enough because they're going down. It was a 2v1 situation. The Love Barrels are still in control of the map, but a lot of it is lost, especially around the sides of the map. That's all turned to green, and the Love Barrels have some work to do. Reflux going to fight against an NZAP. I don't think that's really a fight you want to pick. Dude getting a very risky Reef Slider in. It doesn't connect to anyone, but they get away with it. But the NZAP is chasing, and it's chasing down deep. They want to get rid of this Reef Slider machine. They want to get rid of that arrow spray because you don't want to deal with that 2 players down inside of the Palafins here. The NZAP does go down, and this is huge news for the Love Brellas because they... Sorry, huge news for the Palafins because they need to get rid of that NZAP. They got rid of another player, and now they are in control of this game again, Conroe.
They are. It took a while. Duditude just staying alive, being the annoying arrow spray as you want them to be, distracting the player while another one comes in and takes them out. This is a really important fight, and Halo loses it. The Zuka comes out straight after, so that is not a fight you wanted to lose because that Zuka has now taken out Cosme as well. It's 3 down for Loughbrella. So much paint on the side of Portsmouth Palafins. I think it's too late for Loughbrella now to come back in. Local Rat is going to hold on to mid. The strikes come out. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. 3 players down with about 10 seconds left. Surely Portsmouth Palafins have held on to this one. It definitely looks like green from the top view. And that was the largest margin actually out of any of the Turf War games. And it really was down to those last few fights. But yeah, really well coordinated there from Portsmouth Palafins. I feel like every player knew what they needed to do there. Duditude especially just running around being a nuisance on the aerospray, but it was a very close mini set overall. So, close match already between these two. So hopefully that carries on into the competitive modes.
Definitely more fair than the last 2 teams we had on stream, but the Loughbrella, how they got it back in round 1, and the Palafins taking it again. These are very much fights going back and forward, but I think it is the Loughbrella that does need to change up their competition a little bit. They have the strength, they have the players to get some very good results in here, but just only picking frontline weapons is gonna hurt you so much. In Turf War you can get away with it, obviously, because the game is a little bit more open for interpretation and how you're going to approach it, but in the ranked game modes it is a lot more tight and locked down in what you can and cannot do. Of course, you can make some all-ball stuff work, but I think a team of only frontliners in game modes where you absolutely need your support in the backline in the middle, that's gonna be tough. So I think getting a support weapon here, I think Halo definitely get rid of the Emperies, go to the Dually Squelchies, go to the Tetras, have some more support in that team so you can win more objectives. I think that's the switch they gotta make if they want to take some games off the Palafins.
Yes, it's an interesting one because I think Halo, their main weapon is VDS, but they can quite easily switch to Emperies as well, and they definitely put in work with it. I mean, the issue will be if they switch off the Emperies, the player that can most comfortably get picks, what are they going to do instead? Because especially with splat zones, I mean, what's good for Loughbrella is they can pick the map now. Splat zones, so they might be able to counter what Palafins have been doing. If they keep their comp, I mean, I feel like Portsmouth Palafins comp was a very tough comp. I can't see them sticking to exactly how it was in the competitive modes, but splat zones, we mentioned it last time, it's probably the most similar to Turf War just because it's one area of the map you're painting to score points. And if the comps are going to be similar, it's going to be a similar story for Loughbrella. They just have to go in. They just have to go in and get the splats. If they take the zone, they need to be going well past the zone and just locking them out and getting the splats because they'll just come back in with specials. I saw the amount of special charge Palafins were running in those Turf War games. It was a lot. They're just playing for specials. It might be different because it's Turf War. Maybe they play a bit different, bring out some more aggressive weapons to meet Loughbrellas themselves. Will Loughbrella change anything, or is it really just a case of everyone is comfortable with their weapons and it's not worth switching off to something that you don't really know how to play. But it's been close. They're not being dominated here. The tough set was very close. It was 2-1 to Portsmouth Palafins. So, you know, I feel like this set can definitely go either way.
I think so too. I think the amount of charge was a little bit terrifying, to be honest. We got our next map chosen by the Love Brothers themselves, and it is Mechamart. And I can see exactly why. What you need right now is a short, compact map, one where your opponents are just not able to get as much special charge up if they want to, not as much paint on their base as they might need to after respawns, because if you can get rid of the specials, that is huge. That is what you want to make a Mart. I think looking at the map list is one of the best options for that. It's also very much of a comfort pick for most players. I think especially for Halo. I think definitely around Splatoon 2 as well. Make a Mart, that's just the go-to map since Splatoon 2. It is so balanced, it is so nice to play on, it offers so much variety. So out of all the maps you could have picked, I think this was one of the better ones.
Yeah, I'd agree as well. I'm a bucket player, so I love this map as well. Of course, it's very good for all of the slosher weapons, which we haven't seen any from these two teams. I'll be interested to see if anyone plays them. I might be remembering wrong. I think I remember Sneaky playing like Dreadringer in the past. So if they have, maybe that will come back. Probably see a Reef Slider between them and Duditude. If Duditude is going to stay on the Aerospray as well, because we're not playing Dapple anymore. But let's see. Oh, that is a big change. That is a big change on the side of Loughbrella, and a bit of a change on Portsmouth Palafins as well. They are bringing that range hat. They're bringing the pencil, and they have a range blaster now as well.
I'm looking at all these weapons, and it's a custom blaster coming in from Sneaky, so both of them are doing some very oddball stuff. I love the major change, but can it work out? Halo swapping to the Bubbler as a more supportive role is what we wanted to see, but got splattered early. I mean, yeah, you're still a frontliner, but don't just dive in, because the range blaster gets splattered too, and that is also the Forge Pro gone to this zone completely in the hands of the Palafins. No denying that they are the winners of the first match fight, but can they hold on to this? Can they remain steady, and can they prevent the Loughbrellas from charging up all their specials? That's the question right now. So far, it looks like yes, but they have lost their blaster, so it might turn into no.
It might turn into no. 2 players down for Portsmouth Palafins. The Reef Slide comes out. That should get punished by the Kraken. It does get punished by a teammate following it up. I'm not sure if we saw Lilith in the Turf War games, actually, because they are the player that's on the pencil for Loughbrella, but it does mean they have, arguably the best support weapon in the game. We see it everywhere. It gets cooler really fast, and it paints a ridiculous amount. Loughbrella trying to come back in here. I think they're going to lose the zone, but they've made some headway into this game. They're not going to lose the zone, actually. Halo is on point to cover the zone. I'm not sure if they know Sneaky is behind them. A teammate is fighting Sneaky. Sneaky with the splashdown. They get taken out, and the splashdown doesn't get anyone. This is for the lead, Loughbrella. You have to hold the zone to take it. It's a fight for the zone. Duditude on the Aerospray trying to paint as much as they can. They have Reef ready. They do just about take it, although Duditude does get taken out. Oh, there's a fight on the left between Cosme and the Blaster. No one able to win. The BR bomb comes out. 2 players down for Portsmouth Palafins. And now it's 2v2. The Reef Slide comes out. Pretty much everyone is down for Loughbrella at this point, except the Kraken. I mean, at least they're not... Oh, what happened there? 2 people jumping in. Oh, gets punished by a Kraken. You have to watch your super jumps when you're fighting against a Kraken, and that is exactly why, Hat.
That's exactly why, indeed. And with that, the Loughbrellas also take back the zone, get some points and the penalty off. But it's not enough. The Palafins are so fast on the retake. They got 2 players down to the Loughbrellas, and with that, they can just take the zone. Do with another Reef Slider. I saw that pure charge up on the head. I saw that dude. Come on, calm down. You don't need that many. Booyabomb coming out on the zone for the Loughbrellas, trying to get more paint onto it. But it's just not working out. The Palafins are having this under lock and key. But there comes Ghostly getting 2 splats off on the Palafins, allowing Loughbrella to go in by a little bit. But the Palafins, they're just so fast, having that amount of paint on the map. Tactic coolers constantly spamming from the Loughbrella, but it's just not enough, Conroe. The Palafins are doing an amazing job here. As I stated, of course, Commentator's Curse kicks in, and the Loughbrellas take the zone. But now the question is, can they hold on to it through their penalty? Because if they can, that lead is not too far off.
It's not far off. They have a reef slide ready though. Is it going to flip the zone? No, it is not. And Duty is going to get punished. This surely is going to be the lead flip here because Loughbrella are now getting the picks they need. And Ghostly is so close to a Kraken as well. It's ready. They're going to wait for the B up on first from the teammate. Ghostly, I think, can afford to push up a bit here because they do have that Kraken ready. The splashdown comes out on zone and now comes out the Kraken. Going to try and get something. Unfortunately, you can't kill someone during the reef slide. That would have been an amazing splat if you could. But the reef slide, I mean, the zone's flipped, but it's just Duditude. They do live through that reef slider. Important fight here against Cosme on the pro, and they get the pick. Duditude staying alive, just trying to get their team back in. And there are 2 players down for Loughbrella. Duditude was by themselves for a while there. All 3 teammates have gone down, but somehow they have held on to it, and now they're through their penalty time as well. Bomb just able to come out from Cosme. Going to try and get some splats with this. This is important because they're 2 down. They're now 3 down. It's just the pencil. This could be game hat.
It definitely could be. They have one more chance to push in and get that zone painted yellow. It's going to be difficult with the amount of stuff that the Pelafins are throwing at them. 2 players down on the side of the Pelafins though. Make that effective 3, but there's nobody in the middle for the Loughbrellas as they had the players down. They did not have the players on the map, and with that, the Pelafins take game number 2 as well, setting themselves up for match point status.
Yeah, really close game again. I feel like that game was in Loughbrella's court for a while there. They took the lead. They had 3 players down. Duditude with the reef slide going straight through the Kraken, and they just don't get punished. I'm not sure if just no Loughbrella players were around them, but then they just continue to survive. They didn't get taken out by anyone, and they got a couple of picks themselves as well, which normally you don't see on a Aerospray, able to win the fights that they did, and it meant everyone else could come back in for the team as well, and they just took it from there. They just went all the way to win it. And I think Loughbrella, I mean, it's kind of as we said again, when they had the zone, I think they just needed to be a little bit more aggressive. The custom range had Kraken ready, and I think they were kind of holding on to it when they probably could have just gone into their spawn, gone onto their platform and tried to do something with it, really to disrupt and distract and maybe get a few splats on Portsmouth Palafins, because that could have done a lot of work. But it was a very back and forth game. It was very close. I'm kind of hoping Loughbrella gets something from this set, because I don't feel like they deserve to get 3-0'd for how close it's been. But again, they have the counter pick on its Rainmaker, right? Rainmaker is game 3 here. So yeah, it's a lot more fast paced. I mean, this might actually suit them for how they've been playing Rainmaker. If they just keep up that pace of play they have been, it might suit Loughbrella here.
They definitely have the speed advantage over the Palafins, so they can definitely take advantage of that, especially with a game like I said with Rainmaker. It's a very mobile objective. You have very free to do it objective what you want, so they can and should take the speed advantage there. But there is still a strategic place of the Palafins. They somehow always find a way to outsmart them, even by a tiny little bit, and that is what's helping them win these games so far. They're of course in match point status, so they just need to win this Rainmaker game in order to get some major points for this first bracket. And getting 3-0, of course, is what you want in a set like this. Now we see the maps being picked, and I'm fairly certain a map has been chosen, and it is Undertow Spillway. So we are going exactly the same set, or almost exactly the same set as we had with the Paladins. So I feel like at their university they have some pre-made strategies they would like to apply in tournaments like this. But Undertow Spillway, for the amount of speed that the Loughbrella is carrying, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. What's funny is neither Portsmouth team has actually chosen this map. It has been the other team. So yeah, Loughbrella not scared of the other Portsmouth team winning here. They're going to just play their way on Undertow Rainmaker and see if they can do a little bit better than Portsmouth Paladins' opponent in the last game. But it is 2-0 to Portsmouth Palafins. Portsmouth currently 5-0 on her games on cast so far this season. So yeah, Loughbrella, they've been close. I mean, they won a turf war game. So and they keep very close to winning that zones game as well. So they're absolutely not out of it yet. They have it all to do. They basically have to win 3 games in a row to take this match. And start this tournament with 2 wins, essentially, because both these teams went into this winning their first match 3-0. But yeah, we're almost about to start game 3, Rainmaker Undertow. It'll be interesting to see if any comps change, because it was quite a big one from both teams we saw, but Loughbrella especially. Do we reckon they'll go with similar for this one, or will they go back to the super fast, no backline kind of stuff?
I think they should make more of a compromise there. I think they should prioritize the speed and splatability here over the more technical comp that they've been having they had in the last game. I definitely think they should keep some technical in there, like for example, Tacticooler is a major special that you want in a set like this. I believe we see some more major changes on the side of the Loughbrella. They're trying everything: a regular splatter shot, a Dread Ringer, a custom range blaster, and a Forge Pro against an Emperadoulis custom blaster, a heavy splatting edit, and of course that dreaded arrow spray, which I'm scared of. Dude is already a fast player, and they know how to do some fast stupid stuff. And right there you see it, straight up gets rid of that splatter shot from Halo. That just says no thank you and goes on. We love to see it. The Pelafins are the team who are winning the fight here in the middle, and are the team pick up the Rainmaker first. Beautiful splat by Sneaky, gets 2, looking at the third Lilith. The Rainmaker, meanwhile, gets on the checkpoint, and this is a major opening for the Pelafins right now.
It is such a major opening. Loughbrella have just not got into this game at all. They are just constantly going down. Halo getting run over by Dudasu's Reef Slide at the start, and it all just snowballed from there. I've not seen them with 4 players up since the start of this game, and they don't have Caller. You were mentioning it, and they're actually not running it at all, so there's no way that they're going to get back into this one fast. Cosme goes for an important spot. They do get taken out, but it is going to slow down the momentum on the Rainmaker, and the last 2 players are here, and that is a job well done for Loughbrella there. 44, that's not too bad. They were definitely on the back foot heavily there for the first minute. So for Palafins to only get to 44, that's not really the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, you were saying about Tactical at the start, and they haven't actually brought one at all. They've kind of gone for an aggressive comp again. Tacticaler is such an important special, but I mean, it can work. You know, 3-point divers have done it, Distinct have done it. You don't need a Tacticaler essentially to do the job, and they are 2 players down, but Banana getting an important pick on the Julies. The Reef Slide comes out again, but this time it gets punished by Lilith. But 2 players down on either side. Lilith is just going to try and run this left, and they could do that. You know, the Edit is the only one alive, and they do get the splat just about, but Loughbrella's players are all going to be following up here. Duditude nowhere near Reef Slide. The check is important, and they're able to get it, Hap.
This is a major moment for the Loughbrella, because they're still somewhat pushing in. The last 2 players make that 3, so it might be a little bit tough now. But they still had a lot of turf on the map. Dude getting rid of the Rainmaker shield. I think they're going to go for the reset too, or at least their teammate will, because they need to get rid of the Rainmaker ASAP. That's 60 to 44, but the distance is virtually 0. They have to get rid of it, and they're doing it very, very well now. Dude does get splattered. The Sneaky now holding onto the Rainmaker in a bit of an unfortunate spot. Lilith going in with the Reef Slider, gets a splat too, but gets splattered out of their own. It is that Azuka getting splattered by a silly little Roomba. Oh, you hate this. You love to see it, man. That's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one. One of the weakest subs in the game. You get splattered by it. Gotta hurt. Both teams are now equally fighting in the middle of the map. They're on equal grounds in terms of players and in terms of map defense. They're not too far off. We see the Rainmaker coming in, getting into the lead. Yes, they can. They're going in so deep. That Force Pro knew what they were doing. They saw the opportunity and they took it. And now, Conroe, it is the game of Loughbrella, who are now in the lead of this match.
I could see it coming. I saw Palafin spread out across the entire map, and I was thinking, guys, they've taken the checkpoint. They could just grab the Rainmaker and go, and that is exactly what they did. Loughbrella have taken the lead, and I was going to mention it. I mean, as long as they got the checkpoint, that's really all they needed, because the lead can flip so quickly here. I mean, 32 points. That's not even a big push on this map either. Palafins can just as easily get that back, but it is now Loughbrella's to lose thanks to that single push with the Rainmaker. Duditude holding it, goes down. Cosme on the defense with Halo on the left side. I think someone has dropped as well. Yeah, that's Kraken, the custom range blaster, trying to get something done. They do get a pick with the Kraken, and now they are going to back up. The BR bomb coming in. Sneaky's going to push ahead, try and get one. They get one. Can they get another one on Halo? Yes, they can. It's a trade. But that is 2 down, and Palafins are going to try and take advantage of that, but Duditude kind of grabs it and just drops into Halo. And Loftbrella suddenly on the defense, they're doing really well here. They're grouping up really well, just waiting for specials and getting the splats, and Palafins aren't able to do too much.
They need to, because they are almost out of this set. If they lose now, it is a loss. The set's over, and there's nothing they can do. So they need to throw everything in this match in order to stay in this one. And they're doing a wonderful job. Lilith getting a nice little sneak on Sneaky. Not so sneaky now. Do with the Reef Slider. Doesn't connect. Actually gets stuck in a very awkward spot. Somehow survives, but not for long. The Rainmaker is now reset to the middle of the map to the advantage of Lovebrella. 10 seconds left, and the Palafins have to pop it and push it all the way to 32. And now that's only a major distance. They have grabbed the Rainmaker, but for how long is the question? It's Dude who's holding on to it. The Reef Slider player gets splatted by that Forge Pro, and with that, a beautiful sneaky push from the Forge Pro and a game end by them too. We see the Lovebrellas taking game number 3. They are not out of this tournament just yet.
No, that's right. Well, they're not. They won't be out of a tournament for the few weeks, but they won't. They're not out of this set yet either. Yeah, Cosme getting the lead, and Cosme just closing out the game with that pick at the end. And yeah, Rainmaker Undertow. It's just, as long as you have that checkpoint, honestly, you can just take the lead quite easily if their lead is only 44. And credit to Lovebrella as well at the start, because for the first minute they were just getting dominated. They were just losing players. They were staggered so hard. Duditude was able to refly basically to their goal, but to stop them only at 44 was so important for this push from Cosme right there. Like, we had a nice overview. We saw that Palafin players weren't really covering that right-hand side, and I think there was one player, but they were kind of behind Cosme, so Cosme was able to get far enough to take the lead. And yeah, really well-coordinated defense at the end. I mean, they have really good weapons for just stalling this. I mean, it's Rainmaker. Stalling is the name of the game a lot of the time, but they have Dreadringer with Reef Slide and Suction Bomb, and then they have a custom range blaster with all that AoE, and Kraken as well, which is invincible and it can just like one-shot you. And yeah, they took full advantage, and without Caller, they got it done, and they're still in the set. So Portsmouth Palafins are actually going to get to counter-pick a map here on Clan Blitz.
I think that's a bit of a scary counterpick though, because Clan Blitz is a game mode where team play is your #1 friend, and as much as I want to say the Lovebrella are doing a good job, the Palafins definitely have some better team play in terms of player strength, so they can take full advantage of that in a game mode like Clan Blitz. But the Lovebrellas are definitely on fire though, and they had a lot of shots called correctly in a map which suited them great. So they are still in for this set, and I think they're going to continue fighting, even though they might get a map here which will not suit them at all. The Palafins, of course, are very much free to choose within the map list. Now, I'm going to quickly grab that screenshot that I got. They're going to quickly grab the map list. But while I do that, we already got our counter pick confirmed. It is going to be Barnacle and Dime, a giant open map, which it's a bit of a surprise. I mean,
Yeah,
I like it, but
one. Yeah,
I like it because, you know, it's a very commonly played Clan Blitz map. A lot of people are used to playing it, I think, especially Halo, but that's still a map where the Lovebrellas can do a crazy amount of damage because there's almost no place to hide for the Palafin. So I'm a bit intrigued by this one. Maybe it's a comfort pick, maybe it's the meta pick. I don't exactly know, but I think they're going to be very much on equal ground here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We won't really get an idea until we get in and see the comps and stuff. Yeah, they had Scorch Gorge, Eeltail, Museum, Barnacle, Crab Leg, and Robo Realm, and those were the clan maps they could choose. We don't see Barnacle too much compared to some of the others, but it can get played. It's very good for kind of big bubbler weapons, but I don't think we've seen any of those so far. We did see a Julie's earlier. Oh, there you go. Lovebrella have actually gone back to that. Halo is using the new Julie's with Big Bubbler, which they did use on zones, and even though they lost, it was a pretty decent pick. They did well on it. Duditude is, of course, sticking with all that special charge, special power-up, reslide, aero spray. So, yeah, they've gone... I don't think there's too many changes, to be honest, in terms of comp. Lovebrella have gone back to the pencil. They have gone back to, you know, a cooler comp, a little bit more standard. probably the most standard comp they've kind of played so far. Duditude going in with a reef slide, gets a double. Loughbrella is really going to have to just be mindful of that reef slide because Duditude is going to have it a lot. Oh my goodness, what just happened? I mean, a bomb went off and so many players went down for Loughbrella. It's just Lilith from spawn now, and it could be the first push going to the Palafins.
The Palafins are very much taking their time and getting that power clamp forward. It does not look like they have any priority or have any reason to push that power clamp forward. It's going to be punishing because everyone from the Loughbrella is now respawning and getting rid of them. We finally see the power clamp picked up. No! They sneaky missed the power clamp, and I don't know what happens there if they felt like they were on vacation, not in this luxury hotel, but the Palafins has completely failed to push the power clamp forward. I don't know what happens. Maybe it's a little bit of the magic of not watching ultra competitive Splatoon, that these moments do happen a little bit more often, but that's such a huge miss. We saw the Loughbrella, or we saw in our previous match, a team already messing up, and now we see it here again. 2 power clamps on the map for the Loughbrella though. Only one is picked up, the other one is left in the middle, and it's probably going to despawn as nobody can get to it. Halo tried their best to re-grab it. Unfortunately, it did not happen. But the Loughbrellas are preparing their own push. Halo does go down though, and I think for that push will stagnate.
It will. Cosme was doing a lot of good work on the pro, but I think... Actually, they're still over there. Oh, there they go. Just as I mentioned, the commentator cuss again. Cosme does go down. Neither team quite able to get a push. It looked like Loughbrella might have been able to, but they weren't quite able to get all the picks they need. Duditude again with the reef slider ready. Loughbrella have more clams right now, but they don't have the players. They are losing players. That's a really important Kraken going straight through that splashdown. But they are able to score. The power clam goes in. They're just following the curling bomb, and they are able to score. But it is just the edit, and suddenly this is going to quickly turn the other way. Loughbrella, I want to see them pushing up this map really, really fast. I mean, that was a wipeout. You have to take advantage of that. They have the clams. They got the pity, but the range blaster not quite able to get the pick. Halo able to back out. They've got fizzy bombs. They've got the big bubbler online ready to go. They're going to probably have to use that more aggressively. They do live out that blaster, and they're just waiting for a time to push. They lose a few players. Halo trying to go aggro with the bubbler, but Duditude was able just about to get inside the big bubbler. And even though that was a trade, it was a good trade for Duditude. They still have player advantage here, though, Loughbrella. They just have to get in. They have to get through this Portsmouth Palafins wall of defense, but they're very gradually making their way up, Pat.
That fort does go down. That's in forward for the Loughbrellas because such a long range support basically gone in the middle of the map. Sneaky! Oh, Halo got split 2 and the power clamp falls down. 3 players are fallen on the side of the Loughbrellas, and how that push looked so golden. It only went down. It did not go up. Ghostly disconnected, I was about to say, just chilling with the Kraken. Nah, that's gonna hurt for the Loughbrellas, especially this late in the game. And Clamblitz, that's almost a game over. However, only 1 power clamp has been scored by the Palafins, and they can still do it if they play their cards right. 2 players do go down on the side of the Loughbrellas though, and make that 3 as the Palafins are slowly but surely making a power clamp. They have one now, and I think the local red will swoop in, get that power clamp into that basket, and start scoring for more points. The second power clamp goes in to boot, and I think with that combo we can almost say certain this game is going to end drastically for the Loughbrellas. But another disconnect in this tournament. It's tough. It's very tough. The Loughbrellas, I think they had such a good chance here too. They could have definitely won this.
Yeah, they definitely could have. It's unfortunate for this to go like this. I mean, for what it's worth, it's not quite over yet. Duditude is getting another couple with the reef slide though, and having a big fight with Halo. This could be game now. No, Halo is just going to go ahead and get a triple to keep this game alive, at least for now. But Sneaky punishes them as they're trying to push out of spawn. Yeah, unfortunately, the disconnect happening with about 1.5 minutes left, so that's much too late to get a replay here. It was a very close game before that. It was just 20 points on the board for Portsmouth Palafins, and it was kind of looking like the game might just be won with that, because both teams were really struggling to get a push together. But Loughbrella with the disconnect, they are a player down. It was one of the more aggro players, I believe, as well. They don't have a power clam, so we're not going to see overtime. Portsmouth Palafins take the Clam Blitz game, and they win the set 3-1.
Very well done by the Palafins, but Loughbrella though, also a very good team. I think if they get their internet in order, we will see them I think later on in this tournament, definitely in the playoffs, they have a good chance here. But the Pelicans did an amazing job overall in this set. This was a lot closer though compared to our first set. These teams were very much more neck on neck. But this game, I think it was a bit slow for both sides. I don't think either team was really dominating until, of course, the disconnect. The Pelicans were quite slow, and even when they got their first push, we saw in the replay an instant wipeout to boot. They were struggling to really get a grip on the game here. They weren't as dominant as they were in the previous matches. Not as dominant, they weren't really as controlled as they were in the previous matches. I feel like they had a lot more slip-ups here in Clamblitz until the disconnect happened.
Yeah, definitely. It was. They seem to kind of play more off of do the two get Reef Slider, and then we attack. We attack with the Reef Slider and get something with that. And it was definitely working for them. They were able to get one power clam in at least, which was at least a little bit better than what Loughbrella could do while they still had 4 players. Loughbrella still had definitely had chances to kind of push up, but they just couldn't quite get all of the slats they needed. There were still Portsmouth Palafin players around, kind of staggering them a bit too much to get a real push going. So I feel like if it did stay 4v4, that game would have been very close. Maybe even just that one power clam at the start would have been it for Portsmouth Palafins. Unfortunately, we'll never know because Loughbrella got very unlucky there with the disconnect. But they are going to have one more match today at least, and they won their first match. So hopefully they'll be able to recover and end this week at least with 2 wins and 1 loss going into the next.
I think if they get some more practice, they can definitely start winning the matches here. So I think overall they did a very good job. But Conroe, I think we have something to say whilst we are waiting for our next set. And that is your time on the mic today is up. We're going to have to say goodbye. Unfortunately, we have to switch up at least one of our hosts for once. But Conroe, thank you so much for being on the mic with me and explaining the tournament way better than I can, because of course it is your native country, it is very much in your region, and a lot of these players are more in your realm than in mine. But before you go off, Conroe, where online can we find you?
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky, as you can see there. It's just Conroe SPL, and I do stream on Twitch. I play competitive and everything, and it's just on Twitch. It's just Conroe. I managed to get that name. So, but yeah, it's been a pleasure commentating with you again, Hat. It's been so long.
A lot of fun.
We'll probably be back for this. I'll be casting a lot of NSE over the next few weeks, hopefully. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Stick around because there is at least 1 or 2 more matches. We'll have Pat on with Hat. We'll have the Hat Pack crew after me. But yeah, so yeah, stick around for that. But I am off. Thanks very much, everyone.
See you in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the NSE UK University League here on Dapple Productions. And whilst I am still on the mic, we got a new co-host, and it is none other than my favorite co-caster. It is the lovely, lovely Pat. Pat, how are you doing on this Monday morning? Well, not morning, it's evening, but how are you doing this Monday
morning.
evening?
We live in the same time zone. You're supposed to know when it is, Pat.
Yeah, but I have a giant light that sort of shines like the sun, so it turns into morning. Well, without further ado, we could not introduce some teams, unfortunately, but it are the Southern Cardinals against Tactical Nuke. We're also having a long intro here.
We have a long intro.
That might cause trouble. We already had 2 disconnects on stream, so it's still fine. It's still fine. It can be worse. It can be worse. Well, let's look at the weapons because we see a Dapple Dualies. We love to see it. We see a Dualies Squelchies, a Stamper, and a Splatling on the side of the S Cardinals. And on the side of Tactical Nuke, we see a new Forge Pro. We see the new Mini, the new Rapid Pro, and Reflux. The Reflux, of course, the strongest weapon in Turf War. But Pat, 3 players down already on the Cardinals.
Yeah, and if there's one player to pay attention to on the side of the Cardinals, pay attention to that Splatana Stamper, because you might not know that name, Luma, but you might know the name Yoshel. And pay attention to them. They are pretty good at the video game. Right now, it's very much Tactical Nuke. Able to get control of the middle of the map now. The water has yet to drop. It's going to take another 40 seconds before it does. And right now, Tactical Nuke are holding the map, Hat.
And with that water being about to be dropped, I think that Cardinals are going to have a better time because their comms is more suited towards that bigger map. We see the S Cardinals though fighting their way back into the middle of the map. They are looking for the openings and they're finding them. And they take advantage of them. But as I say, the 2 players go down on the side of the Cardinals and only 1 on the side of Tactical Nuke. And with that, the Tactical Nuke is pushing the S Cardinals backward. For how long is the question? As the S Cardinals are not that willing to give it up, Pat. They are now in control of the center of the map.
And water is about to drop right now, completely changing how we play the game. Both teams getting ready. There's a lot to paint, which means there's a lot of special to get out of presence in mid. And here comes Tactical Nuke. Coming back in strength, 3 down onto Southern Cardinal. It's a wipe out to Tactical Nuke inbound. Incredibly strong in this Turf War game.
They are doing an amazing job, and even the Cardinals are fighting back. Tactical Nuke just straight up says, no, it's about a minute left on the clock, and this might just change everything. Turf War very much dependent on the last minute. We see the Dapple Dudes going down onto the Cardinals. That's not that good. That's not what you want. Luma on the side with the Stamper. They're looking for an opening and looking for a splat against that Pro. I believe the Mini takes a beautiful splat on the Dualies Squelchies. That's gonna hurt. There's a lot of paint gone on the side of the Cardinals here, Pat. As Tactical Nuke is doing a very good defensive job right now.
Yeah, absolutely. 30 seconds left right now. Both teams trying to get back, and Tactical Nuke still with a lot of ground, winning a lot of fights as well. It's pretty rough for the Cardinals, who are struggling to really establish themselves to get in. But, I mean, Tactical Nuke very much in control of the space with so much paint in mid that they know they can take on any fight right now. 2 down on the Cardinals as Tactical Nuke are going towards that heavy Splatling. I think they're gonna get it, but we'll see what the cats say.
The map is very orange, but there's giant specks of blue in here as well. But with all that paint on the other side of the map, it is the Tactical Nukes taking game number 1. And with fins like that, how can you not? I'm gonna be honest, Pat. I know we were supposed to talk about the game, but I don't think I have ever, I'm serious, I don't think I have ever seen anyone use those shoes. I have never seen it. And I know people use some very, very ugly cosmetics occasionally. I have never seen the fins. For real. And I love it. I am a big fan. I am for real a big fan.
I've seen them so many times.
Maybe I don't play enough. Maybe I don't play enough. I don't think I
play
play
enough,
enough.
huh?
I don't play enough. I should play more Splatoon. Maybe I should play Splatoon at Octofest. Maybe I should do that. Go.
I feel like it's the perfect shoes to put swim speed up on. I know, like there's better abilities to put on your shoes, but still, like it's funny shoes to have. But let's get back to the games hat right now. Tentacle Nuke, they got game number 1 of the Turf Wars, but remember, it's Turf Wars. There's more to play because you need to win the best of 3 in order to get game number 1. Now we are waiting for the counter pick on the side of the Cardinals.
I think the counter pick is a very big thing. We've seen it every single time in Turf War. Last game it actually made a big difference because the counter pick won. So I'm interested to see what the Cardinals are going to pick. Looking at the map list, they can choose Mako Mart, Inkblot Art Academy, Humpback Pump Track, Robo Ramen, and Martin Airport. We already saw Humpback Pump Pack and Robo Ramen being picked, so I'm thinking they might do something similar, but no! They will switch it off to Inkblot Art Academy. Maybe if some of these players have played a lot of Splatoon 2, because that's definitely a popular Turf War map in Splatoon 2 compared to Splatoon 3. But I love seeing the variety of Turf War maps here. Gives us some good insights in all the gameplay we're about to see and the players that are playing, but also gives us some nice little variety, not having the same 3 maps over and over and over again like we see in most regular Splatoon tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid map. It's a well-known map, and for Turf Wars you have all of these drops, all of these elevations that allow you to defend, to get the next line of defense. That's going to help Solent Cardinals get a bit more organized, coordinate a bit better, because they know, okay, we need to take control of this space and then we can move forward and we can take control of the next spot. Tentacle Nuke, they were very fast and they were moving together. They have several very good competitive players on the team, and you see the results. They're very much able to really take control together of the space, of coordinating these pushes and fight as one. Right now, let's get into game number 2. Remember, if Tentacle Nuke Inbound can manage to win this one, they will get the first point of this best of 5.
They very much are hunting for that, and we see some big changes coming on the side of the Cardinals. Well, these one chains, Luma or Yosha is switching up to the vanilla Splatter Shot Pro out of all the weapons. That's your choice. Jason also switching to that weapon. I think that Crab Tank in the middle right there is going to be a huge nuisance. We already see some crazy, funky weapons coming out, but this is also a very unique one here, Pat, as both sides are rushing towards the midpoint. But it's a Zuka against the Crab Tank, and the Crab Tank seems to be losing this one.
Yeah, right now the fight for me is still raging. There's a lot of trades. And Luma with the Pro going in, getting another splat. Luma with probably the 2 most experienced players on the side of the Cardinals, able to create that space to push the opponent away. And right now, it's on Tentacle Nuke to find a push right there. The Tacticular is activated. That should allow them to go in, and they're able to get the splats forward. That's 2 splats. Beautiful news of the Rapid Pro Blaster. That's going to allow Tentacle Nuke to get control.
This is what they need. They want to have the advantage, but also to maintain it, because they want to get the first point quick and easy. Another beautiful splat against the Crab Tank. 2 players down on the side of the S Cardinals. Again, Tentacle Nuke is doing a wonderful job here on the offense and keeping the S Cardinals at bay. Crab Tank in a very odd spot, trying to keep the S Cardinals from pushing their bunker. Will it be enough is the question. So far it looks like yes, because the danger sign is still on those icons on top right of the S Cardinals.
Yeah, and right now Tentacle Nuke, they still have their control over mid. The Zuka is not going to find its target though, with going in with the Dapples. forcing the way forward. Right now it's 2 down on Tentacle Nuke, and it looks like going into the last minute, the Solent Cardinals are coming back into this game, Hat?
They're fighting back. Turfor, like I said, it's about the last minute, especially the last 30 seconds. Can they hold on to the advantage they're creating right now? Can they capitalize on the splits? They're getting a lot of specials coming out on the side of the Tentacle Nukes, trying to get rid of the players. 2 players down, 3 players down on the side of the Cardinals. They had the advantage, and like that, they lost it too. Tentacle Nuke has 30 seconds left to keep the S Cardinals at bay. And they have 30 seconds left to start pushing, but the heavy goes down. That's the last weapon you want, because that's your opening weapon. That's what's going to help you hold ground, so Dapple to go down 2. And I think this might just be game over. There is another player down, Pat. And this entire map is looking more and more pink. We see Luma on the back, though, trying to get something done, trying to leave reset status. And look at that, a lot of blue paint going to go on the map. They might just switch it up here if they get enough paint in, but everything is in every single color. Players are left and right, and every single part of this map is painted. But looking at the top view here, I am fairly certain, and now it's confirmed, that our Tentacle Nukes win game number 2, giving themselves the first game in this best of 5 set.
Yeah. I mean, on the side of the Solent Cardinals, we saw incredible individual play that allowed them to take control, to win fights, to get the map. But Tentacle Nuke Inbound, when they wanted to move forward, they would all move forward, and they would get that control instantly without hesitation. They were able to push faster, they were able to get more space out of their pushes, because at the end of the day, team coordination is what makes a team. That's game, I mean, and that the second game for Tentacle Nuke, which means they're going to get the first point of this best of 5, Hat.
And I want to say it again, I love the fact that we're getting Turf to ranked game modes. I think that's something that's maybe to see in other Splatoon tournaments as well. I think it adds a fun little dynamic, which a lot of tournaments sometimes feel like they're missing, right? I think for more casual players, it's a bit more entry level as well. Like, you know, most of the Splatoon UK NSE players here aren't necessarily competitive players at all. Of course, like I said, we've seen Yoshio or Luma, which is a very well-known player, and we saw Halo. And we saw basically the entirety of the Paladins, which are almost all exclusive competitive players. But I think for more casual players, you know, like you and me, for example, this is definitely a bigger and easier entry point for more competitive Splatoon. Without further ado, we are going to the ranked game modes now, and the next one is Splat Zones. And right after Turf War, I think Splat Zones is definitely the way to play. Me and Conor were talking about it earlier on stream, where it's very much switching from Turf War to the ranked game modes. This is very much the best way to do it, because it gives us a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's still about painting, it's still about controlling the space, which is so important right now. We are waiting for the Solent Cardinals to choose their map. We'll know very soon what they decide to counterpick, but for now, Tentacle Nuke has shown such a good control of the game, such a good control of the pace of the game. The Solent Cardinals need to recalibrate, find something to do, something to change in order to set themselves up for victory. That being said, quite often teams have a completely different comp and playstyle when it's about turf wars and when it's about the ranked mode. So we could see a different Solent Cardinal coming onto the play right there, and the choice of the map would help them with that too.
They're very much debating right now in their team what they want to do, because we saw that Tentacle Nuke is aggressive, and they are very aggressive. They're very feisty. They are very much rushing towards the middle point, and everything else will come later. I think for objective game or more objective based games like the ranked game modes, this will be exactly the same. They will be very much feasting for that objective, diving on it, getting rid of that first, and then everything else will come. And maybe in Turf War that works, but in ranked it can also bite you back, because you have to get rid of some players too. Looking at the maps they can pick whilst we are waiting want to be chosen, there are Museum, Delphan, Sino, Mai Resort, Maker Mart, But I think Mai can be chosen as it's a starter. I'm not entirely sure how that works with the counter picks. We have Bywater Springs, Umai Ruins, and Urchin Underpass. Well, I will quickly try and look that up in the room.
Oh, we're gonna go to Urchin.
We're going to go to Urchin. I love it. You know this. You know this. I love this. I really much do.
I think
all the Platoon memories coming back to me.
I think with for the Southern Cardinals is pretty happy that we're going to Urchin, because this is the map for Dapple Julies. Dapple Julies seem to work better on this map because there's so much cover that you can use to simply cut the distance with your opponent. You can go mano a mano into a fight, and what better weapon than the Dapples for a short range fight once you have cut the distance. Like, that's where this weapon shines the most. So really pay attention to Wither on the Southern Cardinals. That's going to be the player that will be like the spearhead for the team, and we'll see if that works, if that allows the Southern Cardinals to really come back into the game as fast as Tentacle Nuke has shown they're able to do.
I'm very much intrigued on how this is gonna go. I'm also looking forward to some major team composition changes, because every single match so far they have been throwing around some, maybe 1 or 2 weapons, but they have definitely thrown off some curveballs, which made me left full of surprises. Let's see what's gonna be. We see Vanilla Slosher, Heavy Spettling, and 2 very familiar weapons with the Vanilla Dapple dualies coming out for those beacons. And on the other side we have Vanilla Slosher, a Dreadwinger, the new Range Blaster, and a Nautilus? That's an interesting one.
That's a good pick, and that's the Nautilus, the gold Nautilus that has the splashdown, the triple splashdown, will allow the Nautilus to defend itself from the short range attack. But right now, the attacks are coming from the Southern Cardinals. The Cardinals are simply pushing everybody away. That was a delayed wipe and zone control for the Cardinals hat.
The Cardinals are now doing a very good job switching up that lead as well. 86, it's not, of course, that not that big of a lead. It's still a lead swap nonetheless, and they are still pushing it forward. Their Slosher does go down though. Splashdown coming in the middle of the zone, and with a tri-strike, that's just a guaranteed capture. Oh, not a lot of penalty points on the side of the Tactical Nuke, but it's enough for the S Cardinals to refrag and reclaim that zone. Even though they lost 3 players, they applied penalty once again with 3 players down, Pat. That zone is not gonna last long in the purple color.
Yeah, Tentacle Nuke. Now it's their turn to be in control. It's their turn to be in front of the zone, and they're using that time very, very well. 3 down on Tentacle Nuke at some point, which is going to allow the Cardinals to simply set themselves up even further, have more paint ahead. And right now, the Southern Cardinals are kind of struggling to get back into the game, to find their way forward. The Wave Breakers are being traded right now. The Tentacle Nuke. Oh, wait, Wither was behind everybody. Wither got the flank and painted the zone.
I don't know how they did it, but they managed to do it like that. Beautifully penalty applied. That's what I've been loving in the NSE so far. We always see some very oddball plays, and Wither coming in a big flank once again. Can they get rid of Salt? No, they cannot. We see the Nautilus. They spotted them and got rid of them. Only 15 ticks of penalty left for Tactical Nuke in order for them to start scoring more points again. Nobody of the S Cardinals is near that zone. It's a little bit painted purple though. It might just be a jump start. We see someone in that zone painting it with an effective delayed wipe. I don't think there's much damage will be done on that zone here, Pat, as they have one more chance to push into that zone.
Yeah, right now Tentacle Nuke are looking to get the KO. The strikes are being thrown at the zone to just keep it longer. There's nobody to paint for the Cardinals, and that's a 2-0 for Tentacle Nuke. Being bound for the University of Manchester. Beautiful game by them. Very much able to maintain their control, to maintain their speed, and to show that like they're a team to take seriously once again. I mean, we've seen them do very well in previous NSE seasons. They're coming back stronger each time.
I feel like improvement is the key. Sticking together is what you want to do, but they were dominant on this game, Pat. They had one slip up where the Cardinals scored some points, but other than that, Tentacle Nuke. was holding a tight grip onto the Cardinals. They know what they were doing. Their positions were correct. Their splats were correct. Special usage was almost perfect. This is what you want to see in a league match like this. Tactical Nuke gave us a prime example of what Splatoon can be, and now it is 2-0 for them. They are looking for that third game. They are looking for that straight 3-0 because there will be huge points in the Swiss bracket.
Yep, that's a 2-0 right now for Tentacle Nuke. Southern Cardinals, we've used to seeing them do pretty well in NSE. Right now they're struggling. I mean, this is the start of the season. This is the start of a school year. Some friends left because they graduated. Others came in as newcomers. Each team needs to kind of adapt to better get back into the groove. Right now, it looks like Tentacle Nuke found better luck than the Southern Cardinals. But the Southern Cardinals, well, it's not over for them, Hat. They still have a shot at doing it. And in Rainmaker, one of the most volatile modes that they can be, all they need is one single push that could give them at the start of a comeback.
But we just saw it with the Laugh Berries against the Pelafins. Rainmaker was absolutely crazy. It went literally all over the place, and I think in the game, in with a matchup like this, it might just do the same. The Cardinals, well, at this point, they are 2-0 behind, and Tactical Nuke, they're 2-0 in front. What does Tactical Nuke really have to lose? I think we're going to get some crazy aggressive comp right now. They're going to throw an alt-ball where we're like, what? But it's somehow gonna work. I think we're going to get some of the crazy weapons there. Same for the Cardinals. I mean, honestly, if you're 2-0 behind, you might as well try out the crazy strategy in the hopes that it may work. Because, hey, why not? What else is there? What you can do, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now, anyways, it is do or die for the Southern Cardinals. They need to make it work. They need to choose the right map for their victory if they want to come back. It's going to be on Scourge Gorge, very much a classic of Rainmaker that both of these teams have to know pretty well. It's been played. There's so much to do on here. And yeah, Hat, we could see a very, very tense game of Rainmaker on here.
Scourge Gorge always brings us some unique gameplay. I think for Rainmaker, it has the single best layout. Maybe Onoto Spillway might counter that, but for I think for the level that we're seeing right now, which is in between the casual players and more competitive players, it's very much a hybrid setup. Hybrid scenario. Some players are ultra competitive, some players are just a bit above average. I think Scourge Gorge gives us the interesting challenge where I think pushing to the left might be more favored sometimes because people don't expect it. It might just work out for you. We've seen it occasionally in stuff like Paddling Pool where the push on the left are very potent and very good for fast points. But now I think here, it might just be especially potent and especially intriguing because you have more oddball weapon picks and strategies. It might just work out for them. And even still, other than that, it's just a big map. It's a big open map, a lot of flank opportunities, and that's what we love to see at NSC. We already saw Wither doing some very funny flanks. Let's see if this is going to be happening again here on Rainmaker Scourge Gorge. Another long intro, it always scares me.
Yes, and Wither switching to the brush. That's
I thought Robbo was Belgium, not British, but alright. Let's see if Wither can get us some crazy brush gameplay in here. I have no words. 52 Gal as well. They did a major comp change on the side of the Cardinals. The Tactical Nuke opting to go for very similar comps though. Let's see if that switch might work out for them. They already lost the Dually Squelchers, but they're looking to get more splats in it. Notches has their special ready. The Dripfinger also has special ready. But 2 players do go down, and that's 3 players go down even. That's a lot of special gone on the side of Tactical Nuke Effect. And with a wipeout, that checkpoint is guaranteed.
Yeah, especially since Luma grabbed it right away to push onto there. An early checkpoint for the Southern Cardinals is great, especially since they get the Reaper. They're able to set themselves forward. Now it's on Tentacle Nuke to stop everybody, and that's exactly what they're doing. Had 3 down already. It's only the Splatling forced to hide, cower away. Oh, they didn't see Marin. Marin able almost to get the splat, but he's going to be stopped by the splashdown. Still, I mean, the Cardinals got the checkpoint, got in, and now all they need to do is defend. A beautiful splat on the Rainmaker right there by Luma with the 52 gal.
They're still trying to get another push at me with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. There's definitely room for improvement, and that score of 868 can and should honestly be improved. But the Cardinals now are more focused on the defense indeed, as Tactical Nuke is preparing to push, setting themselves up with more specials at the ready. We see the resetter coming out, getting 2 splats on the side of the Cardinals, make that 3 to boot, and there's no one defending at the checkpoint, but the Rainmaker has only now just been popped. The late wipe on the side of the Cardinals, but I think with everyone respawning, that checkpoint might just be difficult. They have taken it, but they lost 2 players. That might just mean this push cannot continue. It's 3 players down. It's just Jason alive. I don't think there's that much they can do on their own. They're trying to put the Rainmaker, but Jason got 3 players down. What's going on the side of the Cardinals here, Pat? Oh no! Oh no! What's going on?
Right after popping off, well, it doesn't matter because the rest of the team is still pushing Egg. He's getting to the KO! Tentacle Nuke, Inkbound, ending it right here, right now, and getting the 3-0 against the Silent Cardinals.
What even happened? That's insane! They went from losing it to Jason just wiping a whole team to being pushed off the map with a crab tank to suddenly KOing. I am just confused. I'm straight up just confused. That was actually very impressive by the Tactical Nukes.
I mean, things happened right there. Things happened indeed. And I guess that's the game. That's the set. And since that was round number 3, I believe that's going to be the end of the tournament for the day, unless we get notified of something. But I'm
fairly certain it's just three rounds this week.
Yeah.
For the Swiss rounds, but we still saw some wonderful gameplay. I'm gonna be real. You know, we always cast like some high-level Splatoon tournament, but this.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is great. The NSE, this is especially for a first-time real watcher, this is actually amazing. Like 100%, I support this. I love seeing gameplay like this. It really shows the unique nature of Splatoon. And these 2 teams, even if the S Cardinals did not win, they showed Splatoon to its perfection. They showed how unique this game can be, and they still did a very, very good job. Even though they lost 3-0, I don't think they lost that badly. But unfortunately, this does mean this is the end of today's stream. A little fast, but hey, that's what sometimes happens in a Swiss tournament bracket. But not to worry, we are back next week with another round of the NSE. I don't know if I can be on the mic. I know you are on the mic, right?
Yes.
Yes, you on the mic. Straight after Octofest, he goes back. No, it's not
next week.
No, it's next week. Of course.
Octofest is 2 weeks.
Oh man, I wish it was next week. I am already way too stoked for that. But Pat, you can see him on the mic next week. I might be there. I'm not entirely sure if I can make it, but definitely Pat should be on that mic. But without another note, I think we're going to have to say goodbye a little early. So Pat, very short to have you on stream. It was still lovely having you. Where? I mean, at this point, everyone at Dapple knows this already, but where? Can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Blue Sky right here, where you get news from me. I've come back to streaming on Twitch, which I'll say on Blue Sky when I do that. You
should follow Pat. The stream. I watched the stream a couple times. They were fun. I had fun. I was very quiet.
I wasn't streaming Splatoon. I don't know if I'm going to stream Splatoon again. I enjoy it. And we'll see you next. But first, Pat, where can I find you on the internet?
It's down below. It's down where my name. It is casterhead.nl on Blue Sky, or just type it in your browser and you get sent straight to my socials. It's making it that easy for you. And there's one more person who has been the mastermind of this entire stream. It is Jorian, who has been hosting Dapple Productions streams since the end of time. I don't exactly know if they're Blue Sky on top of my head, but I'm very sure Jordan's gonna just dump this right on the middle of the stream like they always do. But to be sure, I'm gonna look. I feel bad that I don't know it out of my head. I knew it and then I forgot. Oh, I
Right.
found it here. It is Jorian. This is JORYAN.BSKY. Oh, pardon, no, I'm not. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can say it. Give Jorian a follow. They're the mastermind behind all the doubles, behind most of the double streams. And of course, thanks everyone for watching the NSE, and we will see you next week with more NSE UK League.